Welcome to Comically Comics, your one-stop listen to all things comics. We're talking books, movies, TV shows, video games, and more. I must forewarn you, though, we are a spoilercast, and what that means is we consider all properties, past, future, and present, to be valid, and we will spoil the hell out of them. I'm your host, Michael, along with my two co-hosts, Richard and Jeremy, and with all that being said, let's get started. All right, it is Sunday, December 3rd, and we are here with a movie review that's still in the movie theaters this time, like hot shit.
Uh-oh.
Barely, though. I think it may be going out at theaters like next week or so.
Yeah, I think so. Because I was looking at one theater this past weekend and it already had, like, whenever it came to Friday or Saturday, it already took it out of its lineup. And I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, wow. The movie we're talking about, by the way, is The Marvels. And it was like last theater on the left for us as well. So I was like, oh, that's not good. That's not good at all.
Yeah.
So, as we always do, first appearances, synopsis, all that good jazz.
Oh, wait. I was going to do this. And it might trigger several people. But
Oh, we're triggering people.
Roll Tide.
He says from Texas.
Yeah, exactly. He's referring to me, our listeners. I'm a Georgia fan. Georgia lost to Alabama. I didn't even have a chance to watch it. I was like doing shelf liner for our listeners. My wife and I are moving into a house soon, and we've been busy, and I didn't get a chance to watch that. Like I saw the last 3 minutes on a couch on my phone.
I had relatives not come to my daughter's birthday because it was during the championship.
It's like that whole not planning a wedding during the Iron Bowl or something like that.
Right?
Yeah. Well, no, it's also probably going to trigger a lot of other people since we actually made the playoffs now. We're in the top 4. So there's been a whole debacle on all that stuff. But yeah, that's fun.
The Marvels has also done real bad. So.
Yes.
To bring us back in. Synopsis real quick. Dar-Benn, leader of the Kree Empire, is trying to bring Hala, their home planet, back from the brink of death. Her plan, create jump points that steal other planets' resources. Why are you shaking your head?
Because I'm looking at it. I know what Jeremy wants to do. I know he wants, I can see it in his head, like on his face. When you were mentioning Hala, I was waiting for him to go like, Hala.
I really was. The whole time during the movie, I was like, oh, man.
Anyway, sorry.
In the meantime, Captain Marvel must stop her, but not without some light and tangled help from Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan. First appearances, Carol Danvers, Marvel Superheroes, number 13 from 1968, as Ms. Marvel, number 1 from 1977, as Captain Marvel, Avenging Spider-Man, number 9 from 2012, Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel, Amazing Spider-Man, Annual 16, 1982, as Photon, Avengers Unplugged, number 5 from 1996, Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel, All New Marvel Now, .1, number 1 from 2014, Dar-Benn, Silver Surfer, 53, 1991, Prince Jan of Alandana, Aladna, that's it. Prince Jan of Aladna, Captain Marvel, number 9, 2014, Nick Fury, Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, number 1 from 1963, Goose or Chewie in the comic books, Ms. Marvel, Giant Size, number 1, 2006, Binary Uncanny X-Men, number 164, 1982, and Beast Uncanny X-Men, number 1 from 1963.
Whoa. Spoilers.
That's what we're all about. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Can we really like call him the one that you were getting mixed up on the name? Like, let's just call him just as he is, Prince Abubu.
Like, Abubu. What? A Prince Abubu? What the fuck are you even talking about?
It's Aladdin.
Oh, okay. I thought that was Abu. You talking about the monkey?
Yes, but Jafar calls him Prince Abubu.
Oh, I have not seen Aladdin forever. Jesus. Sorry, anyway.
That's the only reason that I was like able to somewhat remember it there towards the end was I was like, it's close to Aladdin. So,
yes.
Aladdin, nah, you idiot.
Well, that shocks me because when you saying it, I was like, did Disney do that as like a wink to Aladdin? But since he's in the comics, I guess not.
Yeah, no, he's in the comics. So, and like I said, since 2014.
That was his last appearance was in 2014?
That was his first.
First, okay.
All those dates were the first appearance.
Yeah, Jeremy,
last appearance, I don't know. I don't care about what their last appearance was.
Well, I thought you said like you hadn't heard about him since he appeared in the 2014 or whatever or something. I thought that's what you said, but
shit, I didn't even know he was a thing until people were talking about this movie, and I was trying to look for spec.
Yeah, I will never understand that anyway. Like, who's gonna buy a book with that fucking guy in it? Like, let's be real here.
People did.
That's
people
weird.
did. Not me, but people did. So, all right, Whelmings, y'all. Whelmings. What is y'all's whelming on this movie? I'm actually like thoroughly excited to hear what y'all have to say as far as like y'all's whelming on this movie.
On the movie, I am pleasantly whelmed. Of course, overwhelmed with Brie Larson there, but you know. Yeah, I was pleasantly whelmed on the movie. I really, really enjoyed it. It wasn't anything like wow, amazing or anything like that, but it was a fun movie. I agree with what Richard had said before as far as Captain Marvel and Kamala Khan. Like they were the more fun ones to watch, and then Monica, she was just a supporting actress kind of thing. I guess kind of wasn't really too much that I enjoyed with her role. Like I said, overall, really, really enjoyed the movie.
Cool. Richard, what are your thoughts on this? Because you previously said you liked this better than Blue Beetle.
I did.
So now I'm curious.
I still stand with that. And matter of fact, I have some stuff that I wanted to talk about why I liked it more than Blue Beetle. But yeah, I think I said I was pleasantly whelmed. If not, that's what I am. I'm pleasantly whelmed for basically the same reasons that Jeremy said. Like, this isn't an overly whelmed movie. I'll definitely not say that, but like, definitely pleasantly whelmed. To me, Iman Vellani stole the show, like kind of like we all originally thought she would. Her family was way more fun and interesting than a certain other family that we saw in another superhero movie just recently. But I will say that is probably due to they had a show to flush out all those characters more. But still, I found them more interesting. So yeah, anyway, I'm just, I had a fun time and it was a fun movie. So pleasantly whelmed.
Nice. I'm going to three-peat y'all. Pleasantly whelmed, thoroughly pleasantly whelmed, honestly, with this. This, to me, was honestly just refreshing and something I felt like we needed as comic book people. Because to steal kind of what my wife said as we got out of the movie theaters, there was nothing that was like heavy or just dense to take in. This was just straight up a fun comic book movie. That's all. And if you went in with just like, hey, I want to have a fun time and just watch these characters come to life and like do stuff, you know what I mean? Superhero stuff, then this honestly is a freaking great movie for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The timing, how long it is, helps with that as well. One of the problems that the MCU has as far as like throwaway villains works perfectly for me in this.
See, that's to me, the weakest. I'm just going to talk about that real quick. Dar-Benn is by far the weakest MCU villain. And I don't mean like power level. I just mean in general. Like, she really doesn't matter to the story. Like, and the other thing that I absolutely cannot stand about the movie is how like they want to somehow justify the things that she's doing in the movie because of what Carol did. And I'm like, yes, Carol destroyed the Supreme Intelligence, but that was because in the previous movie, you kidnapped her, brainwashed her to be a super weapon against her Kree-Skrull war. And then the reason why that war even happens to begin with is because the Krees are a bunch of assholes and they think they're superior to everybody else. And even if you put all of that aside for a second, it doesn't justify them stealing other planets' resources to save their own because they had a civil war that fucked up their own planet. Like, I'm just like, don't be pissed at Carol. Like, I can't believe I'm defending freaking Captain Marvel. But like, don't be pissed at Carol because you started this shit and now she's going to end it. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, it's so fucking irritating in that movie with her, but she's my biggest complaint for the movie. Well, that and one other thing that back when I was talking off podcast with Michael, and it's mostly dealing with how Secret Invasion was dealt with versus this movie. But anyway, I'll get to that whenever we bring it up.
Well, you can go ahead because that was one of the things that, unless I'm overstepped, I don't know if you had anything necessarily for Michael on that.
I'll swing back around to it. You keep going.
Oh, okay. My wife, when we were watching it, she started asking me, she's like, so when are they going to reference that? Like, where does that come into play? I was like, we don't need to talk about it. And then, but she was like, no, but I want to, like, where's his wife? Like, that was the whole point of that series. I'm like, don't, we're going to get kicked out or something. Just
fight, watch.
Don't even say
Skrulls.
Don't even say it.
I was going to.
Let's talk about the Skrulls real quick, just because that's part of my thing. So, and it's a twofold kind of deal. First of all, Carol has a best friend in Valkyrie who, I guess, off screen, they became buddies and maybe something more than buddies, because that was a little weird scene there, like all together.
Well, like, that's that too. Okay, sorry. Good. I'll let you go, and then I'll unleash my whole rage about that part. But anyway.
So we bring her in, which, okay, it was cool seeing Valkyrie, but I'm like, well, you just must be trying to get out of your contract and like, hey, put me in this video real quick so I can have one down. Like,
after the flop of the other one.
Right. But they take the Skrulls back to Earth, to New Asgard, where the President of the United States has declared war on all aliens.
Yes.
In Secret War or Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
which was the thing that we talked about in our podcast episode on Secret Invasion. Why didn't they just take the Skrulls to New Asgard? It's because this movie was filmed before Secret Invasion, which pisses me. I was talking to Michael about this off podcast like a month ago or something, whenever this movie first came out. And when Valkyrie shows up, first off, we've never seen them on screen even talk to each other. She's had more like lines with Peter Parker, like Carol Danvers has had more lines with Peter Parker than she has with Valkyrie. So like this whole like, hey, what's up, boo or whatever. I don't care, but what I'm getting at is like, it's so out of left field that you're like, why is this even happening? And then like, they're just like, oh, we're taking the Skrulls to New Asgard. And I'm like, so why the fuck didn't that happen in Secret Invasion? It pisses me off because I'm like, it's like the Netflix series all over again where nobody's talking with the other. And the reason why I get so mad about it is like, this is the MCU where they are so meticulous about the continuity being correct and not having any kind of weird hiccups. And for them to just completely not even reference it, honestly makes me feel like they're saying it's no longer canon. It's probably due to it being, like I said, this movie was filmed way before Secret Invasion. And also, Jeremy, you brought up like your wife talking about like Nick Fury is tonally a completely different person.
So much better.
Yeah, I like Sam looks like he's having fun on set. Like it's I love the what is it when he's trying to get not Carol Monica, when he's trying to get Monica to fly, he's like, use your core. I thought that shit was funny.
Black girl magic.
He's like, use that black girl magic or whatever. That was really fun. There's another funny scene that I can't remember with him. The only thing that's very concerning, and it's not a big deal, but like I said, I know Sam Jackson's getting old, and there was like fight scenes with him where at one point he's just sitting in a chair like shooting people.
I thought that was great. I thought it made them look cool.
Yeah,
I'm so down for that.
But it just concerns me. Like, is he not old? Like, in other words, he's getting too feeble to like do stuff. But yeah, that is the Asgardian thing really pissed me off, and it's not necessarily at the movie; it's at what Secret Invasion did.
Yes, that was one of the things that I was going to say. Is you kind of touching on when this stuff was filmed. I wish this was honestly put out sooner. I wish this was put out closer to when Ms. Marvel had finished.
Yeah.
Because you start the movie off almost exactly where Ms. Marvel, the TV show, stops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of a backstory kind of like, the last 10 minutes of the episode or something to that effect.
Yeah.
But it picks right up and just keeps going with the story. And so I really do wish that like this had been sooner.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I honestly feel like it would have done better in the box office had it had been sooner, because first of all, you got Iman Vellani's Kamala Khan, who, like I said, that's her whole TV show and stuff. That was the last thing that we saw of her. But even more so, Monica Rambeau, who was WandaVision back like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and we haven't seen her since then.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if it was 2 or 3. Anyway.
It might have been 3, but it was the first Disney Plus show, WandaVision, that came at so that was however many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's one of the biggest problems.
Yeah.
Because I honestly forgot that that's how Monica got her powers. I remember sitting there thinking about it, and she's like, oh yeah, and I got mine from wandering in a magical force field. I was like, oh yeah, forgot that happened.
A witch hex.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought they did a good job handling, if you had not seen Miss Marvel, that they did a good job at least kind of explaining the character with that little bit of, her little cool, like sketchy art, like illustration, daydreaming stuff that she did in the show. But everyone else, or not everyone else, just the other one, Monica, they didn't do a really good job. It was just like a one, like what Jeremy said. It was a throwaway line of like, oh yeah, I got these powers going through a hex. And it was like, what?
But I mean, honestly, like Monica doesn't really even get fleshed out in WandaVision till the last third of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's not a whole lot to really do.
Yeah.
And this movie was already really short, which, like I said, I feel like helped it, honestly, for what it is. I was really glad to see that.
Do we have the official runtime?
No, I don't have the actual runtime. No. I told you I'm never doing that again. Per most websites, it's saying it's 105 minutes. That's all you're getting.
It felt quick. It felt super quick.
It did.
So,
because it like that was going to be like one complaint that I had is like it was a good and bad thing as far as it made me want more. Like I wanted a little bit more detail, like a little bit more about the story, because some parts of it felt maybe a little chopped or rushed. So I kind of wanted a little bit more added to it, but at the same time, it's very easy to go to end up doing too much. And just feel like it's just dragging on kind of thing. So
that's what I was going to come back with and say, is that I'd much rather us be leaving movie theaters,
wanting
at least with these, wanting more.
Same.
Like we used to, than being like, well, fuck, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I'm so tired of leaving a theater like feeling like I ran a marathon. Like it's just like exhausting. It's like, ugh. I gotta pee.
Right. Yeah, this was just, the fight scenes were good. Honestly,
yeah.
there was a few CGI moments, and they honestly weren't even in the fight scenes for me.
Yeah,
like there was one when Carol Danvers was flying, and it's at the first of the movie, and she lands in a ship, and it's like her walking, and that whole scene looks CGI'd.
Yeah,
like her hair gives it away for me, and I'm just like, oh, that does not look good at all.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Goose doesn't look great, and he looks like a very CGI cat.
Yeah.
Beast, we already mentioned it already. Beast looks fucking terrible. What is it? Dar-Benn has some scenes where it's the same sort of like you can tell she's standing in front of a green screen, blue screen, something like that.
Yeah.
The VFX is pretty good for the most part. The fight scenes, though, when you're talking about the choreography, I thought was quite good in a lot of stuff. Like there's a slick move near the beginning of the movie where Kamala is like in that weird like saber landing capsule, and she's fighting the Kree soldiers, and she does a weird like slide corkscrew kick or whatever. I don't know if that's really Iman Vellani doing that. It may be a stunt person, but it was a cool like move nonetheless.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, when they're fighting Dar-Benn and they finally like learn how to fight as like a team, I thought all that was handled really well, especially like they throw like the hammer at one another and catch it and then use it. Like it was really cool.
So one thing that like Another thing that kind of made me question during this is I, for some reason, was thinking that Kamala Khan needed the bangle to be able to use her powers.
I think that's what a lot of people thought, including myself, and glad that the movie fleshed that out.
Yeah, because there was obviously like whenever Darvin had both of them, and then she did that whole like extending out there, whatever stuff, and I was like, both my wife and I were like, oh, so she doesn't need the bangles to be able to use her powers, apparently. So did it just like unlock her abilities or something, I guess?
A lot of like the mutant stuff with the X-Men, they sit there and say that, your mutant powers come out in a time of stress or whatever the case is.
Oh, gotcha.
And so the bangles could have like you said, just sped that up.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't her Bruno, is it Bruno? I think it's Bruno, her best friend.
Yeah.
Didn't he say at the end?
We're supposed to talk about him.
Jesus Christ.
Or Aladdin.
Didn't he say like at the end, when we get the first mentions of mutants in the MCU, he says something about like, oh, it did something to your DNA. It's like a mutation or something. Like I figured that was their clue on like, she doesn't need the bangle anymore. It's now part of her DNA.
I mean, like, but that, like, I guess it maybe still like enhances them though. I mean, because she did that whole like putting them together thing at the end.
Yeah.
She's probably able to focus it more using the quantum bands that we know now.
Yeah.
That they are. And so she's probably maybe just able to hone it in and use it because it was like a ray at that point in time where all she's been able to do since then. I don't remember her like doing any kind of blasts or anything like that. Like it's all just been light constructs, no laser type things. And so maybe with the bangles, she's able to do like a blast type thing then.
Yeah. I think she was able to like channel her light constructs into the bangles, which then projected out or something.
I noticed at the end of the movie, I'll jump there real quick, that Kamala had one band and then Captain Marvel had a band as well.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they're going to like kind of do like an incorporate a switching of the bodies, or is this going to be just to kind of like keep the band separated, but still in good hands. And so if they ever need both of them or whatever the case is, like they know where each other is. Like, what is y'all thoughts on that?
I think yes to both of those. I think that's exactly, I think it's like the Infinity Stones. Like they can't all be in one place. So we're going to separate them, but also they can use it to like switch places eventually. I guarantee you we'll probably see that because that's the whole thing with like Captain Marvel and not Rick Mason. What the fuck is his name?
Jones.
Rick Jones. With Rick Jones, we saw it in Avengers Forever and stuff like that. So I think definitely that's what I think you're correct on both of those assumptions.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd have to probably agree too. I mean, granted, I didn't really think that far about it whenever, but I do. I think it'd be cool to be able to keep that whole the swapping, like keep that in there because that was really cool whenever they were figuring that all out. Like that was a fun little scene. Like I loved them trying to like encourage Kamala to get in there on the jump rope. Like, all right, come on, here we go. Like let's go now. And then like the whole thing of Captain Marvel now being part of like a quote unquote team or whatever. So I think it'd be really neat to keep that in there.
The training montage I thought was done really well. It wasn't corny. It wasn't boring or anything like that really to me.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I thought, you're talking about the jump rope scene. I thought that brought a lot of light to the differences of generations where it's like you've got Monica and you've got Carol who probably did jump rope and stuff like that growing up.
Yeah.
Whereas like Amon, like that's not a thing anymore. Like kids don't go outside and jump rope. That's not, you know what I mean? Like who plays hopscotch? Fuck that noise. Like, so it was funny to see that because they're probably like, what are you doing? Just your kid. Just jump on in there.
I loved her. Like, I mean, obviously, like all her interactions there at the beginning with her in meeting Captain Marvel. I thought Iman Vellani did perfect with all that, just being all in that moment and awestruck. Like it was great. I really enjoyed those.
It honestly made me think of you, Jeremy.
Oh yeah, probably.
Especially the part when they're on whatever the Aladdin planet, the singing planet, and she says the line, "Oh, Captain, my Captain." I was like, when that comes out on streaming, I'm grabbing that as a clip for Jeremy. A lot of this, I was like, is Jeremy just Amon Villani? Like, we've never seen the two in the same place. Is that what's happening right now?
That's probably.
Speaking of that planet, I know we talked about it on an episode. That was what I was referring to. There's a planet where they sing instead of speaking, just like normal. And it was out in leaks, and it just sounded like a fucking nightmare because I don't like musicals. There's some that I do like, but for the most part, I don't like musicals. When it happens, I had said like, oh God, here we go. But it wasn't very long, and it was very tolerable. And it was mostly because I was watching Amon dancing to it or whatever, and she was being really funny. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I did too. But I didn't understand why the heck Monica was out of breath because she barely moved through that whole thing.
She did.
Lots of steps, man. A lot of steps. I'm just saying.
She had 2 drinks in her hand too. Or was that before? Or was she out of breath before that? I can't remember now.
They were walking up the steps going to where the ceremony was in the room.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm not a musical guy. Don't like that kind of stuff. This was totally tolerable. And the whole Brie Larson, that was totally out of sync. That did not look good at all. Like her and him singing together and stuff like that and dancing, that was not, the way that looked was not good. But the enjoyable part for me anyways was watching the interaction with what?
I was waiting for Jeremy to say that.
No.
What?
But watching Kamala and Monica sit there and like joke and cut up, and that was freaking great.
Yeah.
Love that. I agree with what Jeremy was saying earlier that Monica did get the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
That she was like just a supporting actress to Kamala and Carol. But she did have I thought she did have some good lines and stuff like that. And so she just wasn't given a whole lot of attention, which is sad.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeremy, what do you think of Carol? Carol is officially a Disney princess now. She's married to a prince. She's got a dress, and she's got a funny little animal sidekick with Goose.
Oh, yeah.
She is officially a Disney princess now.
Well, then there's my top princess.
Oh, my Lord.
I'll be her Prince of Boo Boo any day.
Oh, my Lord.
I want to switch things up. I want to go back to Dar-Benn real quick. I know there's not much to this villain. However, the things that I personally did not like about Dar-Benn, it wasn't even like her quest or anything like that. Again, I thought she was the perfect villain for this movie. A throwaway character, gender swapped character from the comic books that nobody knew about, nobody gave a shit about before this, quite like Arthur Harrow, okay? Mm-hmm. They turn they turn nothing into something kind of deal. Yeah. And totally fine with that. No problems there.
This did feel like an Arthur Harrow. Absolutely. That's spot on. This just feels like Arthur Harrow again.
But it was clear what her purpose was. It was clear how she was trying to get it. And so I had no problems with that. However, what I did have problems with is chick does not blink. And so she needs to hydrate those eyes because hot damn. And 2, quit giving characters fucking grills and whatever else. I don't need them to have special shiny mouthpieces unless their name is fucking Taserface or something like that. Okay? I don't need it. Stop.
It's metaphorical.
No, it's not. It's not metaphorical. There's nothing metaphorical about it. I don't need it. It's more distracting because I'm like, that looks like you have a giant fucking gap in your top teeth, okay?
I think she does.
I'm thinking, maybe she does.
I think that's what that's for, actually. I don't know for sure.
Oh.
No, yeah, it is distracting. She makes, like, I hate to shit on her, but like, she makes such goofy faces in the movie as well.
She really does.
Yeah, she does. I didn't know she blinked. Isn't that like a sign of being a psychopath? Freaking Tom Hiddleston better watch out, man, because that's his wife.
I couldn't remember if it was just his baby mama or if the wife.
Yeah, it's his wife.
I know it was something.
Yeah, no, it's his wife.
Well, they just had a baby, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
I think they got pregnant and then they got married or something like that. But yeah, it's his wife now. But
Cool.
It's so like, whatever. I'm mean to other people. Like, she's a bad actress. I'm sorry. Like, Tom Hiddleston needs to give her pointers. She is not great in that movie. Maybe it's just the role, and maybe it's something else. But I was not a fan of her in this movie at all. But it doesn't fucking matter because, like Michael said, she's like the Arthur Harrow of this movie. She fucking just dies at the they all die, but what I mean, like, there's no like defeating her. She just clangs the bangs and then fucking the bangles and fucking dies.
Yeah, she offed herself.
Yeah.
In search of conquest, she offed herself. And I'm just like, oh, okay, well, there you go.
Yeah. And there was also, like, I mentioned it before, like in the trailer or something, like, there's one Kree, like, accuser, blue-faced looking guy. He makes some weird faces in that movie as well. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff that's in this as far as the Kree go, but I hate the Kree both in the comic and in the MCU. They're just fucking assholes. Carol saves the day by restarting their son, and I'm like, you're going to regret this. Like, they're going to come back to bite you in the ass later on.
So, another thing, and y'all may disagree with me on this, just because it's either Zhao Wei's acting or it's what was wrote for her. One or the other. You know what I mean? And we'll never really know. But the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, y'all really should have got Emilia Clarke for this.
I almost thought, like, it at some like little side glances and stuff, she almost looks like.
I was like, you really should have got Emilia Clarke for this role. Like, I feel like this would have been better than Gaia, because I don't give a shit about Gaia still.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You mean just to play Dar-Benn? Not. I thought you meant like have Gaia be like in the role of Dar-Benn.
No. I'm sorry. No. Even though that still doesn't, because she has the powers of Captain Marvel too, but I guess if she's not using them, then they won't switch.
Yeah.
Which is, I know what a lot of people were saying. They're like, oh.
Kevin, listen to me. I know you listen to this. Can we just all pretend that Secret Invasion didn't happen? Like, it was just a bad dream that we woke up. It's like Dorothy at the end of Wizard of Oz. We just wake up and they're like, oh, you were there and you were there, but it didn't really happen.
Yeah. Because I think they need to put that. I think Emilia Clarke should be in the MCU, and I think it'd be wasted to leave her as Gaia. So
yeah,
I don't even care about Emilia Clarke. Keep her, leave her, have her bang the bracelets together and incinerate herself. I don't care, but I need Olivia Colman to come back. I need Sonya Falsworth back in some shape, form, or fashion. Her delightful self. I need that back in my life. So just keep that. That's all I need. I just need that.
That's funny.
And whoever wrote for her, I need that couple to stay and move on.
Yeah. So one thing I had just thought about too was, like, and it just hit me earlier whenever Richard was saying it too, was whenever they were saving the scrolls, and scrolls. And they went with Valkyrie. Well, he's like, we have nowhere left to go. And they sent him to Earth for Dar-Benn to come take our son.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, crap. Like, just literally wherever they go, it's just being destroyed. Like, at that point, you just got to wonder, okay, maybe who's the problem here? Like, if it keeps following you.
Honestly, when I was watching it, I was thinking of the people on Earth. Like, I always talk about how, like, it must be hell to live on.
Oh, yeah.
In the Marvel universe. Like, oh, goody. Now someone's trying to steal our son. It's just a fucking Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Taco Tuesday. Last one, guys. Let's get it. We're on the clock. Fuck it. Tequila for everybody.
I have to mention this because my wife specifically told me to mention it. One of her favorite scenes was when she was laughing, like in the theater, she was laughing hysterically, which was kind of disturbing to me because I found the scene kind of horrifying. When all the Flurkin kittens are eating all of the space station crew and Memory from the musical Cats is playing, my wife was laughing so hard at that scene. And I was just like, this is horrible. Like, there was one guy who's going like, no. And like Kamala like blocks it. And I know they don't actually eat them, but like still, I was just like, that's terrifying to me.
I made a comment about that as well. I made a note about that. The entire Flerken storyline could have been
cut.
You could have saved another whole 15 minutes on this movie by not sending Kamal's parents to space station and just not having that Flerken scene.
Yeah.
Like, they went there to get intel to know where Dar-Ben's going to be, and so they still could have done that. And her parents still could have been there, and that had but we don't have to know that something's happening at the space station because he's going to go back up there anyways, so it doesn't matter. It's not like it's destroyed.
Yeah, it's definitely like the B plot of like the story. Since you mentioned the family too, I just wanted to, because I also had notes about the Blue Beetle stuff. To me, I felt like this movie had more heart than Blue Beetle, which is why, like I said, what I said about Blue Beetle, Kamala hugging Monica when they saw like the memories of like her mom dying and stuff like that. Kamala's mom saying that she will kill Carol Danvers if something ever happens to her. And then also Kamala's mom telling her that she'll never let her go. Like, that got me choked up when I was watching that. It's like, you know, she's like, you're destined to do something great, but I will always love you and never let you go, kind of thing. I thought that was really great. I know we wouldn't have had that if it wasn't for like them going up into the space station, but I quite enjoyed it.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. You could still have that moment. They could still be in the space station, but you don't have to show where it's like getting messed up from the flare or whatever.
Yeah.
And them have to escape it. Because I know that the Marvels still have to go there to get the information of where Dar-Ben's going to be. Mm-hmm. So you can still have her parents there and have that interaction that's needed for the character development. But just don't worry about the thing shutting down power or whatever.
Right.
Like, and them having to escape. Just don't worry about that. Cut that. There's another 10, 15 minutes. And you're not missing anything. It's like, there's some funny chuckles, but there's plenty of humor in this that's not forced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought excellently placed. Like, I laughed naturally several times over, and it wasn't like Thor: Love and Thunder or something where I'm like, oh, they're trying to be funny. Well, fuck me. Okay, that's great. Good job. This should be a horror movie. This guy's freaking terrifying. Like, out of all the villains you could have, and you want to make fun over here, whatever, jackasses. Go fuck yourself. Anyways.
All right. Do we want to talk about
Abso-fucking-lutely
bananas?
Pumpkins.
Banana.
Yes. So I will start off by saying that we do get to see Hank McCoy Beast voiced by Kelsey Grammer, and I honestly didn't have a problem with the CGI.
Really?
So, yeah, I love the way he looked. I love the way they went with his look or whatever, where he had the overbite or the underbite.
Yeah.
And I love it better than the makeup one that we got before. So, like, I was digging this.
That's not what I'm talking about. Like, the style of it is fine. It's just, you can tell that is a CGI character. Like, it doesn't look like Thanos. You know what I mean? Like, Thanos looked, his detail was so good in so many scenes. It looked like a real fucking person standing there. Whereas Beast looked like a CGI character, like a cartoon character, like Roger Rabbit kind of thing.
I wouldn't go that far, but that's just me. So I enjoyed it. I liked it. What was the other CGI that you were talking about?
Goose. Goose looked really bad.
Oh. Yeah, there were some parts where I was like, okay, but whatever.
There's a scene where the Khans are up in the space station and she's talking with Nick.
Oh yeah,
like the mom, and she says something about like you're feeding him too much, and Goose is like licking himself with like one of the tentacles, and he just looks real bad.
Yeah, that's the one. That I agree on that one. That one didn't look, but regardless, I enjoyed seeing Beast. We also got Maria Rambeau as Binary now, which is who she turns into in the Uncanny X, who Carol Danvers, Ms. Marvel, turns into in the X-Men comics. Based off of like a experimentation the Brood did on her.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for explaining that, because I had no idea who she was.
Oh, Binary?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, thank you. It's like she stood in there with like her whole uniform on. I was like, I'm sure this is supposed to have some kind of impact here, but I have no idea what it is.
So in the comic books, Carol Danvers wasn't the first female Captain Marvel. Monica Rambeau actually was.
Okay.
And Maria Rambeau has taken that mantle up pretty much, and they even referenced that in the movie where Carol told Maria when they were sitting down, like, it should have been you that took that blast. So they've already kind of like foreshadowed that. And then we've seen it in Doctor Strange. So like several other universe timelines, whatever the case is, Maria actually took the blast and not Carol. So we're just getting another universe where that's happened, but now it's gone so far to where she's actually turned into binary. She has both the quantum bands as well. Did y'all notice that?
No, I didn't.
No.
Yeah, she has both bangles on. So I don't know what that means. I don't know where that's going to go. I don't know how that's going to work. But Monica Rambeau thinks it's her mom, and she's a variant of another world.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So what is different between whenever she's Captain Marvel changing to binary woman?
A costume.
Nothing of her powers change, or
to be honest with you, I don't know because I don't follow. But and most of the time when shit like that happens, it's just a costume change. It's the same reason why.
Okay.
Whatever, I don't know. Superman became electric and blue. It's just they wanted to change up the costume. They give him a different power for a little while, but
yeah, I think she has somewhat of a different power set. But again, don't quote me on that because I, like Richard, do not know. I just know enough to be dangerous. Like I said, the Brood experimented on Carol Danvers, Ms. Marvel at the time, and it turned her into binary.
Yeah.
That's the extent that I actually know.
That's more than I even know because I don't really follow. There's only one thing that I know about Carol that I'm not going to spoil because I want that to be a surprise for Jeremy whenever that happens because I have a feeling that will happen.
What does she face, like her evil nemesis?
No. No, it's it has something to do with a mutant, and I'm not going to say anything else because if I say any more, you'll just Google it and spoil it for yourself.
No.
I know what you're talking about.
You're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez and Pete's, yes. That would be cool if we saw that. Anyways. So my notes that I wrote down for the spoiler at the end was binary has both quantum bands, is what it looked like to me anyways. Both bangles, one on each arm. And also, will Monica Rambeau be the cause of the 616 incursion? Because now she was from the 616 universe, and now she's moved over to this one. And we know from Doctor Strange, the longer you stay in, the more that's where a collision or an incursion is going to occur. So is that what they set up?
Yeah, probably.
Is her to be the reason for the incursion?
Probably, yeah.
And also on that, like, there was one moment where I was like, oh, come on, Captain Marvel. Like, whenever Monica was like saying that she was going to have to punch it from the other side. And at that moment, I was like, oh, she's going to get stuck in there. And then, but Captain Marvel apparently didn't realize this. I was like, she literally said she was going to close it from the other side. You put one and one together there. I don't know.
They kind of established she's not the smart one of the group that Monica actually
is. True. That is very true.
Yeah.
To each their own kind of thing. But Monica's the brains and Carol is the brawn, and then Kamala is the heart. Like, that's you've almost got Captain Planet.
She's the glue.
Though Monica's not all that smart because, like I said, she still says in the movie itself about like her powers, and she's like, I can see light. And I'm like, again, we can all fucking see light. That's how we fucking see. Yeah, that is exactly what's going to happen. More than likely, Michael. If incursions even happen now, who knows at this point? We don't know what the fuck's going on with this Secret War stuff. I'm assuming that's going to be the Fox universe. That's what I'm going to assume.
Me as well.
And they're going to establish more stuff happened that we never saw in the Fox movies or something. Because he mentions Charles. We get Kelsey Grammer back as Beast. I'm assuming that's like the same Beast that we saw in, was it X2, X-Men United, or X3, X-Men United?
X2 and...
It's the third one as well. I forget what and
Last
Days of
Stand.
Last Stand, that's it. And then Days of Future Past, when Wolverine changes the past, we see Kelsey Grammer back as Beast again.
Coming down the hallways, yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. It's the Fox X-Men universe is so fucking muddled at this point, but hopefully they'll make sense of it. And being that Deadpool is the one and only MCU movie for next year, I'm assuming it's going to tie into that somehow.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think because the talk is that this Fantastic Four is not going to be from the 616 as well. So that's what everybody's rumors is saying, and that's why there's rumors as far as how they're going to get over to Secret Wars. But I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to take, you've got the MCU 616, you've got the Fox whatever world over here, and then you've got the Sony over here, and Secret Wars is just going to kind of like, hopefully their goal, I believe, is to mesh them all together.
Yeah.
And that way each of them is from their own world. They don't have to have members of each team and stuff like that. They've already been established. And then you can kind of work what you want to do and keep what you want to keep and get rid of other things and move stuff around.
So then we'd be able to get Madam Web into the MCU.
No, fuck that noise. No.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Richard's face while playing that is the best.
Whenever we do the review of that fucking trailer, god damn, that trailer looks like somebody's fucking 13-year-old nephew edited that trailer in like iMovie or something.
Yeah, it looks like CW shit on it.
Yeah, it oh god. Anyway, no, the reason why I think and why I hope it's the Fox universe is I forget who did it. Someone on social media did like a cool Photoshop of like Avengers versus X-Men, but it's like the MCU versus like the Fox X-Men. And I think that's a cool idea that we could see for like Secret Wars or something.
Well, I think we'll get that as far as like an incursion.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens in Hickman's Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Is like you've got the two heroes from each planet battling it out, trying to save their planets. So yeah, I think this would be a great time to do an Avengers versus X-Men, and like you just have it established as an incursion kind of thing.
Yeah.
Gonna be the Young Avengers versus X-Men.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
I was about to say, like, I'm not like, hey, we had that big part there, but I feel like this really wasn't. I know for me personally, I wasn't like, oh yay, like kind of thing.
I just think so. The reason why I liked it is Iman Vellani seems like a nerd's nerd, if you will. Because she carries around like this notebook. She's on like volume 2 or whatever. It's got like MCU stickers and she's got like all this like secret stuff written in it, supposedly from like interviews and things. So I think it's cute that she got to do the Nick Fury scene.
Yes.
Like I would love to do that as a fan. So I find that like kind of cute, but I honestly don't give a shit about the Young Avengers. Still, it's going to be nice to see some of those characters. Like I don't really like Wiccan. I don't really like Iron Lad. Who else is on there?
We've already gotten Eli Bradley, who's Patriot. That's Elijah Bradley's grandson from Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show. Which you didn't watch that, Jeremy. So and I told you repeatedly don't watch it because you don't need to watch it.
Yeah. We got the one from Black Panther, don't we? I forget.
It's T'Challa Jr.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a feeling they're going to age him up in Secret Wars, and then they're going to just have T'Challa back.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I'm just mostly referring to like the comic book stuff, like Amadeus Cho Hulk, I think is one that's on.
He's on the Champions, but Hulkling, who is the Skrull, half breed, he is like boyfriend to Wiccan, and they're both on Young Avengers. They were both original members or whatever.
I'm trying to remember all the members because the only story that's worth reading is the one that has like Doctor Doom in it. I forget what it is. It's
Children's Crusade.
That's it. That's the only one worth reading. Everything else is kind of just yawn.
That's what the rumor is.
I like Kate Bishop and I like Kamala Khan, and that also stands for both the characters in the MCU, in the comics as well.
Yeah, because that was what I was going to say. Is like I mean, I obviously don't know all the other Young Avenger possibilities or anything, but I was like, honestly, those two right there are the only ones that, as of right now, I mean, that I'd really care about. For the most part, I enjoyed both of their characters.
So we've seen Kate Bishop. She is a member of the Young Avengers. Kamala Khan is not. She's a member of the Champions.
Okay.
Oh.
And so, but she could be taking the place of Viv Vision because we haven't seen her yet
Mhm.
and they haven't made her yet. But I guess that's still possible if they do the Vision Quest TV show
Yeah.
that they keep rumoring back and forth on. We've seen Eli Bradley, Elijah Bradley's grandson. He becomes Patriot. We have not seen Hulkling. And I thought that's what Secret Invasion was kind of going to be about, was Hulkling. However, we did get Scar in She-Hulk. I think Scar is going to take over Hulkling's spot because honestly, the name Hulkling is confusing. And so I could totally see him taking on the name Hulkling.
Yeah.
Like I said, Wiccan Billy, he's supposed to be coming in with Agatha on that TV show. His brother Tommy, who becomes Speed, eventually comes in as well. And then there's Cassie Lang. Thatcher, she's a member of the Young Avengers.
Yeah, which they mention her in that scene. Yeah, I think they're definitely not doing like Champions and Young Avengers. I think they're just merging
Correct.
all that shit together. And I think you're absolutely right with Hulkling. They'll just make Scar Hulkling because that's just confused. Like it was confusing back then. It's like, oh, that's Hulkling. Oh, is he a Hulk? No, he's a Skrull.
No.
What?
Yeah,
but
he's green.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. No shit, they're all green.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends on what they do. I imagine they're doing something with young Kang, if Kang is still a thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I liked the scene though. I thought it was kind of interesting to have her do and she hams it up, she's like, where'd you get that? I found it in my couch.
Yeah. I think I like her part of the scene. I like them two interacting.
Yeah.
But as far as like being excited about a Young Avengers project, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm not excited at all, honestly. But Iman Vellani is great.
Yeah.
Just watching her is fun.
They got to at least obviously get something going to be able to continue the whole thing, because obviously all the other guys, the OGs, are getting up there in age.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I understand needing to kind of get a whole new crowd in there. But I mean, I'm with you as well. Like, I enjoy those two characters a lot. And I thought that was really, like what Rich said, thought it was really cute watching them doing it. And Milan did a great job with it.
Well, Secret Wars will probably be used, and it's been rumored this as well. And I can see them totally doing it. Secret Wars will probably be used as like a soft reboot. So we'll be able to get new versions of possibly Iron Man, new versions of Captain America, things like that to kind of like restart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which maybe not Captain America because of Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, but I guess we'll see as far as like his Captain America 4 movie, how that turns out.
Yeah.
Here's hoping the best because I really want to see a good leader.
Yeah. It feels rudderless right now. I think we need an Avenger movie personally before Secret Invasion. We talked about this already though. The one thing I did want to say is because Tom Holland, all the shit with Sony and Spider-Man, like Tom Holland will probably do, I think he's contracted to do like whatever, like 4-6 movies, something like that. Not like solo Spider-Man movies, but he's contractually obligated to be in like some more like ensemble Avengers movies plus his own solo movies. Put Kamala Khan in everything. Like, she's enjoyable. Make her the new Spider-Man. Like, she captures that young teen sort of energy that Spider-Man does. Put her in everything. And like, that's kind of what her run was, where she'd run into the who's who of the Marvel universe. So like, have her just be in everything just about. Like, I'd be fine with that.
I don't think people enjoy Kamala
No.
as much as we've enjoyed her.
No, I don't think they do. Most people...
That's dumb.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's dumb as well. I think a lot of people didn't watch Miss Marvel, and a lot of people didn't watch this movie. Like, we don't have much time. I'll just run through it real quick. I had the box office numbers. As of December 3rd, a grand total of $197 million worldwide this movie made. It was reported to have a budget of $220 million plus $100 million on marketing. And that was mostly due to all the strikes were going on, so they couldn't really do a lot. Well, that means it was a loss of $123 million. Comparatively, The Flash, as of December 3rd, made $270 million worldwide. It was reported to have a budget of $300 million plus $150 million on marketing. That's what it's been reported. I don't know if any of that's true, but anyway, that means it actually was $180 million loss. So it actually lost more, but technically brought in more money than Captain Marvel. But because its budget was so much bigger, it lost more. So anyway, we talked about this. One of the things I had is like, I think the writer and actor strike is one of the reasons why this didn't do so well. Superhero fatigue is absolutely a thing right now. It's going to be even worse next year because the MCU is making only one movie, but we're going to get a glut of really shitty Sony movies. Then, going off the previous movie, a lot of people didn't like Brie Larson.
She was so much better this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't think we said it enough, but she was so much better this movie.
Oh, absolutely. And it's the last thing we've been saying a lot. It's just too damn expensive to go see movies, and it's the holidays, and people are trying to like balance what they can afford and what they can't afford.
Yeah.
Did the Flash come out before the writer's strike?
Yes.
That's what I was thinking. So I really do wonder, like, I mean, obviously we'll never know, but like if there wasn't the strike, if this one would have done, what the difference would have been.
If this one had dropped closer to Miss Marvel, how much better would this have done?
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking, I meant to say this when you were mentioning all that. Like, this movie felt like a sequel to Miss Marvel more than it did to Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This felt more like Kamala's movie than it did really Carol's movie.
One more beef before we close out. Supreme Intelligence, that's the biggest fucking waste I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
The biggest waste I've ever seen in my life. Huge villain for any Captain Marvel character and just 5 seconds of screen time. That's ridiculous and that's stupid. My opinion.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's the biggest, like, I don't know, because like I do agree, like, why waste the Supreme Intelligence on this? But being that Maria Hill died for Secret Invasion for a fucking shitty show in the first fucking episode that they don't even fucking reference.
Yeah.
Does that mean that we can bring her back?
Yeah, that's what I honestly, that's really what I want.
Secret Wars.
Yeah.
I really, really, really want them to just say that didn't fucking happen. But anyway.
And Colby Smulders did a great job as her too.
Yeah.
Like, I wish she would have been able to take over S.H.I.E.L.D. and Nick could have had Saber, and there you go. That'd have been great pairing.
It's like an old man piddling with his stuff.
Yeah. Oh, Nick, he's out in the garage organizing things again.
Again.
All right. So before we close out, do y'all have anything else y'all want to add, throw out there?
No, I'm good.
Do y'all suggest people go and see this movie?
Most definitely.
If it's still in theater, sure. If not, if it's on Disney Plus, absolutely put it on.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. I mean, I would recommend going to see it, but if you don't have time and you want to wait, then I still think you definitely, it deserves a watch.
I agree. I'm sorry. I cut you off, Jeremy. Did you have anything else to say? I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you did. I don't think you did.
Cool. Well, Jeremy, till then, where can I find you?
Before, I don't think I actually did one, but like, woo, Brie Larson. But you can find me on Twitch under the handle Night Fury GTO. That's Night with a K. And you can find me here. And no, I have not played any more Spider-Man.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame. Shame.
Yeah. That one's pretty bad. I've had very little time here recently, so I'm itching to play again.
I gotta see the season 2 trailer for House of Dragon. I heard it came out.
Oh,
yeah, I don't watch. I'm done with Game of Thrones.
Season 1, like, it drug a little bit, but it got good.
Mm.
I actually enjoyed it.
I'm waiting for Invincible to finish up, and then I'm going to binge watch it. And then I'm so excited. The Boys teaser came out, and I'm fucking hyped for that.
I heard of TM Nerdy. He was on our show here however long ago doing fan casting with me and Richard.
Yeah.
And he was super excited about that. So go check out TM Nerdy over on Instagram and YouTube and go tell him we said hey. So, but yeah, he's the one that was telling me about and asking me if I'd seen it yet. So he's thrilled about that as well.
Yeah.
Richard, where can I find you at?
If you want to contact me directly, I have an X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram, and a Threads. My handle is Night Curry, night like day night, and curry with a K. If you want to contact us directly, we have a Gmail. Our Gmail is comicallycomicspodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to check us out on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics Podcast. And if you want to check us out on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics with an X.
You got to do that twice today.
I know.
Yeah.
It's great.
You can find me on Instagram and eBay at 22_comics. You can also find me on YouTube at 22comics. Thank you all so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed as much as we did making it. All that being said, say goodbye, Jeremy.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Oh,
bye, Jeremy.
Oh, good Lord. Bye, Jeremy. Bye. Goodbye.
That caught you off guard.
What would your dream universe be like?
Ooh, just a bunch of cardboard cutouts of Robert Downey Jr.